The all-time great Rams, with the heroes of the greatest show on turf, such as Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, and wide receiver Isaac Bruce. The four-time NFL champion Rams battled the all-time great Cleveland Browns, one of the most renowned franchises in the National Football League, with a combined 8 world championships and 15 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We bring you to beautiful Cleveland Browns Stadium in Northeast Ohio. Another gorgeous day in the Northeast of Ohio for today's Week 3 battle of the greatest all-time franchise, featuring the great Browns and the great Rams in Cleveland. Of course, in this critical regular season bout, the Rams and the Browns are loaded with Hall of Fame talent. But there may be no greater player on the field today than the 3-time NFL MVP and arguably the greatest running back in the history of the game. That is the Hall of Famer out of Syracuse, number 32, Jim Brown. He has the all-time NFL record for yards per game rushing with 104.3, and there isn't a single running back, known on Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, or LaDainian Tomlinson, who come close to the accolades of this guy, Jim Brown. The Rams and the Browns from Cleveland. Neck Rice in hand in what should be a good one today. The Rams win the coin toss and elect to receive to begin the game. It is the Rams and the Browns. Phil Dawson ready to begin what should be a good one in Ohio. We are underway. Towering kickoff to begin this one for the electrifying Cooper Kupp, who brings it out of the end zone, makes a man miss at the 10-yard line, and is spilled at the 18. Leading the way for the all-time Rams is the quarterback of the greatest show on turf in Kurt Warner. He tosses to Todd Gurley, the running back, who has a first down with the all-time Rams. He helped guide the transition for this franchise from St. Louis to Los Angeles to Todd Gurley. He'll get the call. Across midfield goes Todd Gurley, the perennial Pro Bowler out of the University of Georgia, with the first down. He is the 2017 Offensive Player of the Year, and he gets the call again. And Gurley on the toss picks up about 5. Todd Gurley is averaging an astounding 12.2 yards per carry this season. A good idea to feed it to him again. 4th run in a row. He gains a couple against the vaunted Cleveland defense. 3rd and 3. Toss once again to Todd Gurley. And it seems they don't need to throw the ball when they've got him running like this. 1st and goal, Rams. Todd Gurley led the league in that 2017 campaign in yards from scrimmage and total touchdowns. Warner will feed it to him, and Todd Gurley finds the end zone again. Touchdown, Rams. 6 consecutive touches from the marvelous Todd Gurley. And he goes all the way for the Rams touchdown. Jeff Wilkins remains perfect on PATs as the kick is good. And now the Pro Bowl kicker Jeff Wilkins out of Youngstown State sends a line drive to Edwards at the 10. And he dances outside to the 30. Plenty of room for Braylon Edwards to the 38-yard line. The all-time Browns have an embarrassment of riches at just about every position, minus the quarterback, and now Jim Brown, the renowned running back, is hurt as well. Jim Brown averaging nearly a first down a carry with 3 rushing touchdowns. A big loss for Cleveland, is out of the game right now. We'll have an update at some point during the greatest all-time week with Hank Cinnamon to determine exactly the duration of injury for Brown. Interception here from Eddie Meter, who brings it back to the 40, and is dropped inside the Cleveland 30-yard line. One of the great pass coverage safeties of his era, a 6-time Pro Bowler out of the 1960s, and now after the Meter interception, Myles Garrett, the 2023 Defensive Player of the Year, brings him down for the sack. Warner taken down by Jim Houston, another marvelous pass rusher for Cleveland. Houston of the Browns with his first sack of the day. Deep to Bruce. He's wide open, and Bruce catches it for the touchdown. Kurt Warner comes out on fire in this one. third touchdown of the year for St. Louis, LA. And the extra point from Wilkins is good. The all-time Rams, the greatest show on turf, were led by the aforementioned Kurt Warner, who led the league, his Rams, in total offense 3 years in a row, 1999, 2000, and 2001, with the Hall of Fame signal caller at the controls. Baker Mayfield, a capable quarterback as well. He'll tuck it and immediately is taken down by one of the most dynamic pass rushers, Deacon Jones, joined by Todd Light. End of one, 14-0 Rams. Nick Rice and hand, make sure to keep it here for the Hank Cinnamon halftime report and a look around the league going in through the entire Week 3 docket. Check down to Ozzie Newsome. The Hall of Fame tight end has a first down for Cleveland. He is ninth on the all-time tight end receiving list with just under 18,000 receiving yards in his illustrious career. Ozzie Newsome spanning from 1978 to 1990. His catch sets him up near Rams territory. Off the Mayfield play fake, he guns it deep to Paul Warfield, and that is dropped. Marvelous receivers for the Browns under the disposal of Baker Mayfield today, including Newsome and Warfield. Mayfield shoots it deep to Amari Cooper, and that is incomplete. Amari Cooper's performance against the Houston Texans in 2023 is one of the greatest single-game performances in the history of the league. He had 265 yards in that dominant performance against the Texans that season. Touchback from Horace Gillum, a Pro Bowl punter out of the 40s and 50s out of the University of Nevada. Browns bring a four-man rush to Kurt Warner, who's been on fire today. Checks it down to Ellard for the first down. Kurt Warner comes into the game completing 64% of his passes this season and just threw his third touchdown of the year earlier today. Gurley has been a one-man wrecking crew for the Rams. Another first down. Cleveland, led by Player of the Year defensively, Myles Garrett was the best defense in the NFL in 2023, and have Hall of Famers Len Ford and Bill Willis anchoring this marvelous group. But they're getting pushed around by Warner right now, who throws on the run, and that is incomplete. 2:17 to go in the first half. 3rd and 8 to go. Warner scans the field deep to Bruce. Wide open to the 20. He makes the catch, and Bruce is in for the touchdown. That was some tandem during the 2000s. Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce, the Hall of Fame receiver from Memphis, 5th on the all-time receiving list in NFL history. The extra point is good as Bruce reels in his 3rd touchdown of the season, and Warner throws his 4th. Wilkins drives away a good one to Braylon Edwards of the 20, and with 1:38 remaining in the half, the all-time Browns, down 21-0, got their work cut out for them. A disastrous first half for them. Down Jim Brown, this is Nick Chubb for the first. Nick Chubb, another former Georgia Bulldog, alongside Todd Gurley, is the second best yard per game rusher in Browns history behind only Jim Brown. Greg Pruitt, another marvelous running back, makes the catch. Timeout Cleveland. Greg Pruitt, former second-round pick in 1973, ran for over 1,000 yards 3 years in a row in the 1970s. A capable backup to Nick Chubb and the injured Jim Brown. Mayfield hands to Chubb, who splits the seam, and there he goes to the 26-yard line. Clock is moving for the Browns, so they better be careful here to use the clock wisely. Under a minute to go. Toss to Chubb along the sideline, and he stays in bounds. The clock continues to run, and the Browns will elect to bring in the field goal group. This one from Phil Dawson. A good hold, the kick is up, and to put the Browns on the board, it is no good. The disastrous first half from Cleveland fittingly concludes with a missed field goal from Dawson. And Todd Gurley, on the gut run, leads to a timeout with 7 seconds remaining in the half. Todd Gurley, during his heyday, was as good as any running back in football in the 21st century. And with that, the first half comes to a close. We'll send it over to Hank for more on this one and a look around the league for Week 3 of the All-Time Rosters franchise.
Hey, thanks, Nick. Welcome to the halftime highlight show. Rams-Browns all-time greats. Todd Gurley is not only an all-time great Ram, but he's an all-time great NFL player when he played, getting the Rams into good territory. This was kind of a trippy play here. The ball's passed backwards to Todd Gurley. He'll scamper in. This one will count as a forward pass in Tecmo. Good job for Kurt Warner and Todd Gurley. Baker Mayfield will hand it off to Jim Brown, and this is a sight you don't want to see. Jim Brown, the best player on the Browns, gets injured. He's replaced by Nick Chubb. And on the next play, Baker Mayfield would run out of the pocket, has a guy deep, but he's intercepted by Eddie Meter, so that was a highly inaccurate pass by Baker Mayfield, getting the ball inside the 30-yard line. Myles Garrett would sack Kurt Warner, and so would Jim Houston. You'd think this would put Kurt Warner out of position to score a possible touchdown, but he finds Sir Isaac Bruce down the left side, them connecting with their first touchdown of the game, putting the Rams up 14-0. Next drive, at midfield, Kurt Warner would find his amazing physicist receiver again. Sir Isaac Bruce finds himself into the end zone again, putting the Rams up 21-0. Browns would eventually get it started on their next drive as they would find themselves in Rams territory, setting up a field goal. Can Phil Dawson do it? The ball is up, and it's no good. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Hank, and we're back here in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. This is week 3 of the greatest all-time rosters franchise, the LA St. Louis Rams against the Cleveland Browns. The franchise of the Rams with 2 Super Bowl titles established in 1937. The Browns with 0 trips to the Super Bowl, let alone Super Bowl wins, but with 8 NFL championships beginning in their inception in the National Football League in 1946. What helped them become a perennial championship program is the development of Jim Brown, who is hurt and out of the game, and his injury will span the remainder of the game. It is a devastating loss for Cleveland. His status moving forward will be determined with Hank later in the week. Todd Gurley, Kurt Warner, and Isaac Bruce have been overwhelming the Browns today, as is that pass rush. Jalen Ramsey got there first, known as a marvelous cover corner for the Rams, Jaguars, and Dolphins. Ramsey in for the punt. Second punt of the day from Horace Gillum after the Ramsey sack, not punt. Deep to the electrifying Steven Jackson by way of Oregon State. A return of 6, maybe 7, from Steven Jackson of the Rams. Warner, early in the third quarter, under duress by Garrett, but he finds Todd Gurley anyways. It seems nothing can go wrong for this Rams offense. Kurt Warner led the way for the team that ranked number 1 in offense 3 years in a row early in the 21st century. They were also the number 1 offense in 1973, led that season offensively by guys like, Tom Mack, Hall of Famer, Bob Brown up front. They've also got Jackie Slater and Orlando Pace to round out that Hall of Fame offensive line. Kurt Warner hit as he throws. No, he couldn't get rid of it. It looked like he did, but Bill Willis got him for the sack, and the Rams are forced to punt. Bill Willis, the Hall of Famer, made the clinching tackle the 1950 divisional playoffs against the Giants. Cleveland wound up winning their 5th championship in a row to begin their establishment into the National Football League that 1950 season. Chubb is buried in the backfield. The Browns are going to need a bit of a miracle here, down by 21 late in the third. Mayfield gets rid of it deep to Warfield. One of the great home run threats of his day. It's incomplete. While Warfield led the league in touchdowns in 1968 as a member of 3 championship teams in the 60s and 70s, the Browns once and the Dolphins twice. Mayfield a bit off the mark there again for Cleveland. He is completing a lowly 41% of his throws this season. Horace Gillum has been busy in punt duties in today's game. Drives it deep on a hop to Steven Jackson. And he doesn't get very far, setting up the Rams for their next possession, in position to close it out on this drive. Gurley Splits the seam, and there goes Gurley all the way to about the midfield line with time winding down to the third. Kurt Warner's been red hot today, as has Todd Gurley. He heads to his right, has the first down on what is the final play of the third quarter, it appears. Nope, it looks like they'll sneak in one final play in the period. Warner guns it, downfield for Bruce, and he was inches away from another touchdown. Rams at the doorstep of the clinching score when we come back, as both teams have switched sides. The Rams, going left to right, begin the fourth quarter. Toss to Gurley. The best thing going for the Rams today. Touchdown, Los Angeles, St. Louis. Todd Gurley in the end zone again. As mentioned, Gurley led the league in total touchdowns in 2017 as the Offensive Player of the Year, and has led the game in total touchdowns scored for the Rams, and it's 28-0 St. Louis, LA. Cleveland searching for some pride points here early in the season as they have gotten completely embarrassed by the Rams today, 28-0. Nick Rice in hand from Cleveland. Mayfield trying to march him downfield. Toss to Nick Chubb, in for the injured Jim Brown, who gains a couple on first down. Mayfield fakes the handoff. He's got a man out there, fires to Newsome, who reels it in. And the Hall of Fame tight end has a first down for the Cleveland Browns. Just under 4 minutes remaining. Greg Pruitt the call. Toss to the 40. Pruitt down the sideline. Spilled near midfield as Greg Pruitt, the four-time Pro Bowler out of the 1970s, out of the University of Oklahoma. Another Pruitt run. Nowhere to go. Taken down right at that 50-yard line. Second down and 10. Another Pruitt run. Ironically, more runs on this drive than they had just about any drive in the first half. And Cleveland will call a timeout with 2:55 remaining in the half. Play action. Mayfield fires downfield for Paul Warfield, and that combination has just not been working for them today. 4th and 2, and Cleveland's going to keep the offense out there. Nick Chubb, they've been better at running the ball than in the passing game with Mayfield today, even without the injured Jim Brown, and they do convert the fourth down. This all-time Rams franchise, very good. Loaded with Hall of Fame talent. London Fletcher got him for the sack. And we've got a man down. Baker Mayfield is hurt. They'll get a chance to bring in one of the great quarterbacks of the 1980s. Bernie Kosar takes the field for them. A league-high 6 game-winning drives in 1986. Then threw for 489 yards against the Jets in the AFC divisional round. That is the third most passing yards in a playoff game in NFL history. Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Miami. Kosar fakes the handoff. Maybe he can spark the offense. He does find Ozzie Newsome for the first down with under 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Fresh set of downs at the Ram 28. Kosar hands to Chubb. Squirts through a hole and gains about 6, maybe 7 on the run. Bernie Kosar, considering what he did, helping guide the Browns to a couple AFC championship games, certainly capable of filling the shoes of Mayfield. Pruitt on the check down moves the sticks inside the Rams 15. Ball at the 11. Blitz from the Rams. Kosar to Pruitt. Touchdown Browns. Mike Pruitt finds the end zone for Cleveland. The all-time Browns go the length of the field and just, if anything, give themselves some pride points. They got to feel pretty good about how the offense fared with Bernie Kosar at the controls. We may, in fact, have a quarterback dilemma going forward if this continues. Squib kick, and it's recovered by the Rams to all but secure a victory for the all-time Rams. The greatest show on turf helped guide this franchise to a Super Bowl championship in 1999 with the emergence of Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. They won the Super Bowl again in 2021. The Rams are 4-time champs, having won 2 titles in the pre-Super Bowl era and twice since. The Rams are 5-time NFC Super Bowl era champions and have won 26 playoff games in their illustrious history in the Super Bowl era. And with that, the great all-time Rams franchise win this one in Cleveland, 28-7. For the rest of our crew, I'm Nick Rice saying so long from Cleveland Browns Stadium. Hank's got the post-game wrap-up for you right now.
Hey, thanks, Nick. Great broadcast as always in this all-time great Rams and all-time great Browns game as Todd Gurley absolutely demolished the Browns in this game. He dominated, and so did Sir Isaac Bruce as he would get stuck at the 1-yard line, and Todd Gurley would show the Browns that he's not Gurley, vulturing off of Sir Isaac Bruce and absolutely demolishing the all-time great Browns. 28-0 are the Rams. But Baker Mayfield, he never gives up. He wants to get some points on the board. He'll toss it to Ozzie Newsome, getting it to around the 33, and then tossing it to Mike Pruitt, who would get the ball close to midfield. Rams are playing that prevent defense, but here they would sack Baker Mayfield. London Fletcher does, and he comes up limping, is Baker Mayfield, who hasn't had a single touchdown pass this whole season. He'd be replaced by Bernie Kosar, and Bernie Kosar would go on to not incomplete any of his passes. Inside the 30 is Kosar, and then inside the 10 is Mike Pruitt. Kosar would step up into the pocket, find Mike Pruitt. He's got the touchdown, giving the Browns some points before the end of this game. The all-time great Rams blow out the all-time great Browns 28-7 in this contest. This is PR52 with the post-game show on MBS. Thank you to Nick Rice for the great broadcast of this game. Have a nice day.